Japan Doctors Union warns Olympics could lead to Tokyo Olympic virus strain.
Here's a summary of the article.
The head of a doctors' union in Japan warned Thursday that holding the Olympic Games in Tokyo this summer, with tens of thousands of people gathered from around the world, could lead to the development of a new, Olympic, strain of the coronavirus. Although Japan has repeatedly pledged to hold a safe and secure 2020 Olympics in Tokyo after a year-long postponement, it is struggling to contain a fourth wave of the pandemic and preparing to extend a COVID-19 state of emergency that covers much of the country. Japanese officials, Olympics organizers and the International Olympic Committee have all vowed the Games will go ahead, albeit under strict virus prevention measures. With people from over 200 nations and territories set to arrive in Tokyo, it will be dangerous to host the Games in July, said Naoto Ueyama, head of the Japan Doctors Union. All of the different mutated strains of the virus that exist in different places will be concentrated and gathering here in Tokyo. We cannot deny the possibility of even a new strain of the virus potentially emerging after the Olympics, he told a news conference. If such a situation were to arise, it could even mean a Tokyo Olympic strain of the virus being named in this way, which would be a huge tragedy and something that would be the target of criticism, even for 100 years. The Asahi Shimbun, an official partner of the Tokyo Olympics, carried an editorial on Wednesday urging for the Games be cancelled. But former IOC Vice President Dick Pound said later in the day the sports extravaganza should and would go ahead. The government is currently preparing to extend a state of emergency across much of the nation, originally set to be lifted on May 31, most likely well into June, officials have said, just weeks before the Games are set to open on July 23.
This post received a score of 24,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Given what I've heard goes on during the Olympics, I assume this strain will be an STD.
Greater than, but former IOC Vice President Dick Pound said later in the day the sports extravaganza should and would go ahead. The mastermind behind it all.
Nah, that cap, no way someone names their kid Dick Pound.
There's a kid called Xerashi, lol. Elon Musk is a fucking nut job.
He's a piece of shit billionaire.
Is there a single good one? I would argue they all got their money exploiting people.
At the point you're a billionaire, you have already displaced enough wealth to damage and destroy many lives. Economies thrive when money moves. It was never meant to be hoarded like this.
If they need money for things, they can liquidate some of their assets by selling stocks and commodities when they need it, even if it's at a slight loss. It's not like money wasn't already paid for those. Some even may have gone to people at the bottom, making these yachts and houses. It's just that it would benefit humanity more overall if that money equals workforce went into a larger amount of smaller houses or fishing boats instead. Still, to a degree it is not unusual that people get to use their money in ways they see fit. Anything can make a profit, and people wishing to invest will do whatever makes them more money. The problem is that we value money, instead of monetizing value.
Since they don't seem to care, I suggest we start referring to it as the Olympic strain. Which sounds like a bad Clive Cussler book and is even worse for PR.
I live in Tokyo, nobody has cared since about last September lol. We got the culture of work, and the spirit of stop worrying about dying. You will get there eventually if you work hard enough.
Overtime kills the virus.
Can't get sick if you never leave your cubicle.
I'm honestly surprised they haven't tried to bubble everyone up in cubicles and never let them leave.
They are. It's called Japanese culture.
I don't get this. Just have the Olympics in a bubble with no live audience, just like the NBA, NHL etc. have done. The broadcasting is where the dollar is anyway.
Then the myth that it benefits the home country would disappear.
They're obviously going to lose a fortune on this one. Nobody is disputing that. The Tokyo Organizing Committee are the ones desperately trying to get some money back on their investment. They're the ones actually running the Olympics, not the IOC.
I know, but it's a myth that the Olympics are a profit maker. They're usually a loss on money and very little long-term infrastructure gains. This is just a fact and is seen with nearly every games. The money indeed is made on TV. By the IOC. They don't personally care if they have an audience at the games. But they also have to keep a pretense that it benefits the home country so that people actually want to continue holding them. Once the cat's out the bag, home countries will tell the IOC to just fund it all themselves.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.